Hi guys, welcome to My Psychic Connection. I'm Nikki Taylor and I'm going to be your host tonight as Journey Ryan is off with a minor injury sustained at the hands of his adorable puppy. But I want you guys to know that tonight, $1 of all of your donations via the jump are going to be given to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which is lovely because, money is a very powerful energy, and knowing that the money you give tonight is going to a really valuable cause. And then also, obviously, to help us continue to do the work that we do and be here to serve you. So let's see, I'm going to start looking for questions. And it's going to be me and Faith tonight. Let's see.
Hi, everybody.
Here's Steve. Hi, how are you, honey?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. I love your red lipstick. It looks like
oh, thank
raspberry. It looks like is it called raspberry? Raspberry red?
Actually, I don't know why it's called this. It's by L'Oreal and it's called Backstage.
Oh, fancy. I pick lipsticks based on their names. Do you?
Yeah, I do. I've never had, this is actually my first red lipstick. I usually wear mauve, but I saw this and thought it was pretty, so I was like, I'm going to try it.
Interesting. Well, red's the color of the root chakra, so maybe you're doing a little bit of healing now with that at this time in your life.
That's possible.
I'm really excited to read for people tonight, and I just let everyone know that $1 of their donation for the jump is going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's really a wonderful charity, and they do a lot for children, and everything is, when you go there, it's free for the families. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, to take that stress off the family when they're going through that with a sick child, I can't even imagine. So I am really honored to get to participate in bringing some money in to support that. So it's going to be a good night.
I think we're going to choose a different charity every month.
Lovely.
So
yeah, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start looking at names for people to read for, and then we'll read questions and just pass it back and forth.
Okay,
I'm excited. Okay, so
ladies' night.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. I'm just checking for jumps really quick. Okay, so let's see. I think we have Catherine to start with. And so, Catherine, you're going to want to get your question ready. And then after Catherine is going to be Bay Dre. So Catherine and Bay Dre, both of you guys are want to get, Bay Dre, you're going to want to get your question ready. And Catherine, you're going to want to go ahead and post your question now so that we can start reading for you. Okay. Oh, Jenny says, Faith and Nikki, and she sent us both a couple of heart emojis.
Aw, thanks, Jenny. Thanks for watching, sweetheart.
Let's see. Catherine. Okay, so Catherine, her question, she says, how about love? She puts a bunch of O's in there, emphasizing love. All right, sweetheart, let's see. So let me shuffle up and let's see what's going on with love for you. Okay, interesting. Okay, so for your cards, Catherine, so your first card comes up as the major arcana card, the moon. And here, the moon really represents so many things, but one of the dynamics here is that it's this really watery planet, right? It represents water and psychic abilities and all the things that lie under the surface. And here for you, it's representing a little bit of illusion. It's sitting in a past placement, which is telling me that you historically have had a very Pisces type way of navigating love. So Pisces is a water sign and moon is connected with the water, right? And so Pisces is, to put that in perspective for you, they are ruled by the planet Neptune, actually, which is the planet of fantasy and illusion, right? So they can get, Catherine says, you said it perfectly. And so they can get really drawn into the fantasy of the relationship and what it symbolizes to them sometimes. They don't always express that though. So what I'm seeing for you is that the meaning and the symbolism of the relationship is just as powerful for you as the actual experience of the relationship. So while you're there and present and you value the touch and the time spent together and the person, your partner themselves, there's equal importance for you placed on what they represent to you and what being in that relationship represents to you. And so if those illusions are broken, if they do something or behave in a way or something occurs, like your friends don't like them or their friends don't like you or family, it definitely puts a hinder on the illusion of it. And so no matter how much you like them outside of the illusion for who they actually are, it can really start to deteriorate the strength of the relationship for you. Now, that has been a historical pattern for you. I think in the present, you're really breaking through that because that hasn't really served you well. Now you're sitting in a current placement where you've got another major arcana card, which is the Empress, which is saying this is a time where whatever you nurture in a relationship, it will grow tenfold, right? So whatever you choose to give, you will see that expanded upon. So it's really important for you to be mindful of what you want to cultivate in a relationship. Like, what does your dream relationship look like to you? What does your sex life look like to you with your partner? Do you spend a lot of time together? Do you go on vacation? Do you send a lot of text messages? Or do you prefer him calling you on the phone and you calling him? So it's important for you to get laser focused on what your ideal partnership looks like to you, and then know that you really are in a place of empowerment in order to cultivate that. As you move into the near future, I see new love coming your way for sure. You've got new experiences coming under the Pentacles. I think that you're going to meet someone in some kind of professional setting or through work, whether it's a side hustle type of work or actually the work that pays your bills. Either way, you're going to meet them in a setting where it has like a professional, networking type energy. That's where new love is coming in for you. So that's really exciting. I guess I just want to emphasize too, is that you've really learned from your past mistakes. This is where your evolution kind of comes to the surface for you, particularly in love. So that's an exciting time. So let's send it over to Faith and see what she says, because she's the expert on love.
Oh, thank you, Nikki. I don't know about expert, but
I do.
It's one of my specialties. Hi, Catherine. How are you doing, sweetie? So this is what I'm seeing, and I'm going to add a little bit to what Nikki said. I feel like your biggest hindrance sometimes with love, whether it be romantic or with friends or with family, is that you give a lot of yourself, but you're also very guarded. So going along with what Nikki said, in order to have something deeper, you have to let things out and kind of let things grow. And I feel like your love life has kind of been at a standstill because it's not where you focus your energy. Okay? I do see someone coming for you. Like, I see more stability in your love life. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see it till probably about January is what I'm being shown. I do feel that you will meet this person in some type of, I agree with Nikki, you'll meet this person in some type of professional setting. I don't know if you're going to particularly work with them, but it will be a professional setting. I'm feeling like this person is slightly older than you. I want to say maybe, and I don't usually see this like this, but this is what I'm being shown. I want to say maybe 3 years older. And there's a familiarness about this person. Like, I don't know that you necessarily know this person, but I feel like you will feel like you do. This person's going to remind you of someone or something, and it's going to trigger something. I believe that it's a past life connection. Okay. I'm feeling them as tall, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm very short, so everyone is tall to me. Journey calls me a munchkin. But this person feels like they're maybe, I don't know, maybe 5'10" or so. They have brown, kind of chestnutty hair, but there's a little bit of gray in there, but it's like distinguished gray. And I feel like they dress kind of what I would call preppy casual, sort of. They're very well together. I don't feel a lot of drama. I do feel like they own their own home. They're very financially stable. I do feel like they're divorced. Okay. And I'm feeling one child around them. It's an older son. But I don't feel any issues with that at all. Astrologically, I feel like this person, let's see, I think this person might be a Capricorn. But I also feel that they've got some Taurus in there. So they may be a Taurus with a Capricorn rising or a Capricorn with a Taurus rising, because that's what I'm always shown is the sun and then the rising sign for some reason. And sometimes they're reversed. So just know that and be aware. I feel like when you meet this person, you're going to instantly know them. Okay. But it's a past life connection. It will be very easy. It will flow very easy. And this person's real mellow and real chill, which you're not really used to dealing with real mellow. But I think you're really going to enjoy this person's energy. And I feel this person's name starts with an M. That's basically what I'm getting, Catherine, for right now. I hope that helps you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Faith, for adding all the extra elaboration, and those specific details is why I say that you're the expert on love. Those specificities of energy that you bring forth when it comes to love, I think is really valuable. So thank you. And I'm sure Catherine is really grateful. So we're going to move on to the first jump of the night, which is going to be Bella. And Catherine says, thank you both. You're so welcome, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
So the first jump of the night, though, is going to be Bella. So Bella, I'm going to have you put your question up, and then Blanca, you're going to need to get your question ready. Okay. So Bella, put your question up and we will read for you. And then again, Blanca, you're going to want get your question ready, my love. I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling up for Bella. Bella, Bella, Bella. Okay, so Paj Chia says, what do you see for my love? And when, okay, wait, what do you see for my love and when about? So I'm confused. Paj Chia, I'm thinking Bella is the next jump. So Catherine says, feel better, Journey. I know Journey's so
amazing.
He deserves all of our love and healing. Okay, so Paj Chia's question is up again, but the two jumps I have are Bella and Blanca, and so those are the questions that I'm going to need first. Unless
I think that Paj Chia might be Bella.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I'm just going to.
I just noticed the Facebook picture, and I think that's.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm definitely, so for the background for Tony, I'm definitely going to need clarification on names then. Let me know if their screen name differs. So go ahead and address them to me by their screen name. So there's, we don't waste time on clarity. So Paj Chia, who is Bella, I'm going to shuffle up. So you want to know.
I think that is her.
You're right. So she wants to know, what's happening with her love life, and then she's wanting kind of a time frame. So let's shuffle up and see if we can pull some information on that. I know love is really heavy on everybody's frontal cortex right now. And so many people I know are falling in love and getting engaged. It's interesting. I think after such a great time in the political and world scheme of disconnection and people being quarantined and separated. I think it's interesting. People are really coming back together with a fierceness that I think is really beautiful. They're connecting more authentically than ever. And now's the time for real love, you guys. Okay. Okay. So, Bella, I have to tell you, this is definitely a time for you to be single and in your power. Historically, you've had a pattern of being in a position of defense when it comes to love. So this is both defense that was necessary, right? Like it was valid, like you needed to be in defense of yourself. And when I talk about love, your question is about romantic love, but I'm talking about love as a whole, right? Because how we love in our family, how we love our friends, how we love our children, how we love ourselves is all a part of the ecosystem of our love life, right? It is part of the whole when it comes to our romantic love life as well. They're not disconnected, right? Can't love in our love life, but then not love ourselves and then not love. It's a whole health cycle that we have to maintain. So as far as you being in a position of defense historically, when it comes to how you love, that definitely started in your family dynamic. And having to, there's a little bit of like black sheep type energy here. So you being the odd man out in the family hierarchy, and having to really guard your heart, not being able to really be your truest self without fear of judgment or rejection. I also think that school was difficult for you in social aspects. You weren't able to feel love from your peers the way that you needed to in order to have, like normal developmental validation and stuff like that you absolutely deserved and yet didn't get. I think that you've carried that into your intimate relationships in a way where you've been defensive whether or not the situation called for it. So it's like you carried a historical pattern, a behavior mechanism of being defensive and having your guard up, even when the situation didn't call for it, because that's all you've really known. And you've known it in some of your most fundamental and cornerstone relationships in your life, which are your schooling and your family dynamic. This does set in a past position, which tells me in our current position of really healing from that. The healing is going to occur most profoundly during a time of being single. So because what you need to do is get really clear in yourself without any noise or distractions, because relationships are very distracting, right? They take up a lot of our time, a lot of our attention, and that's a beautiful thing. But if you're trying to do some deep inner work, sometimes it's nice to do that in the quiet. Sometimes it's nice to have solitude in order to do that. It doesn't mean it can't be done in a partnership, but for you in this season of your life, that work is certainly going to be best done in solitude, right? And the work that I'm speaking of is you getting clear on where you may put your guard up unnecessarily, where you might be overly defensive, where you might jump to being defensive about things, and where you need to essentially lay down your swords so that you can, when you enter a relationship, you can have more authentic connection. You're not talking to your partner around a wall of defense, right? You're not misinterpreting things that are said. You're not thinking that he's a predator, because historically you've thought of to love, to allow your guard down enough to love puts you in a position of predator victim, you being the victim and partner being the predator. So you have to be, mindful of what you say, what you do. You have to pick apart what they say and what they do and their behaviors and looking for red flags. And that's really just not the optimal or ideal way to experience a relationship. The experience of a relationship, while they're so unique and different to each relationship, I think the cornerstone and kind of fundamental way that is across the board for everyone is that it should be experienced with lots of safety, lots of ease, right? Lots of flow, right? It shouldn't feel restricted or forced or, defensive is a very forced and restricted way of being. So now's the time where you really want to focus on getting really honest with yourself about where you might be being defensive and why. And it's not about beating yourself up and going, I'm defensive there, bad me. It's going, wow, I'm defensive there because I experienced something that hasn't been addressed yet. And then you give yourself that validation, right? You give your inner child a hug and say, sweetheart, you were right to feel the way you are and to have carried this into your adulthood. Of course you have. That was a really profound experience, but you're safe now and it's okay to let it go. And then as you move into the near future, I see you returning back then to a more innocent state. So a lot of times, the word innocent is almost, well, it's certainly not synonymous with being powerful, right? We think of being innocent as being vulnerable, being weak, being meek, but innocence is very powerful. Innocence is the ability to trust unabandonedly, the ability to love like a child does, right? There's no manipulation. There's no end game, none of that, right? It's just really organic and authentic. And that's what you're going to be returning to when it comes to you, how you love and how you receive love. And so Bella says, yes, very accurate. And then, you've got a King of Cups here too. And so your partner that you draw in after you've done some of this work in your alone time. So your season of being single is purposeful. Don't force yourself out of this season. You can't make it winter when you're still in fall. Like instead, step fully into fall, right? And so step fully into your season of being single, because this is your time where you get to do your work. Because when you do step into the near future, your partner that's coming in is going to be someone that you are very emotionally connected to in a way that you have not been able to do yet. You have not been able to connect really deeply emotionally in this way. You're going to be able to do it with this new partner. And there's going to be just this understanding between you and this ability to honor each other in your wholeness, which is really beautiful. So, and that's the time on earth, right? That's the paradigm shift. And I just talked briefly about how people are connecting with a fierceness right now after everything that's happened, like with quarantine and all of these things and being separated from our family and our friends. We're coming back together with a fierceness, but we're coming back differently than we used to. And so Bella says, yeah, just grief hurts so bad. I don't know what else to do. Yeah. Well, I think here's the thing is there's a difference between experiencing pain and then suffering. So pain turns into suffering when we can't work through it. We can't process it and release it. So you can hurt and feel hurt. But when you either ignore the hurt, try to detour around it, try to dodge it, try to pretend it doesn't exist, or you are so scared of it because it hurts so bad that you push it away, run from it, it doesn't go away. It just stays there on a lower level. It's like a little hum in the background, and it causes suffering. It causes like perpetual pain. You have the ability to face your grief, face your pain, face your disappointment head on, look it in the eyes, acknowledge it, get really close to it, give it a hug, and say goodbye to it. And so this is your time to do that. So I'm going to pass it over to Faith, again, the expert in love, and see what she has to say.
Hey, Bella. So I have a few messages for you. First of all, your husband's coming in to me, and he was giving me some messages as Nikki was talking. He keeps saying something about pancakes. He says, have some pancakes. I don't know. That's just what he told me to tell you.
Bella says, yay!
And he's saying something about a celebration. So I don't know if there's somebody's birthday coming up, but he's showing me balloons and like party hats. And that's usually my symbol that spirits give me for birthday or some type of celebration coming up. And I'm just going to be really honest with you because he's pretty funny and mellow, but he's also very blunt. And he says that he doesn't want you crying as much as what you have been. He knows it's hard for you, but he's showing me, and I don't know if this is literal or symbolic, and I don't even know if I should say this on air, but he's pushing it, so I'm just going to say it. He's showing me you curled up in the fetal position crying, and he says he doesn't want you, he knows you're sad that he's not physically in a physical form, but he is still there. He hears you when you yell at him, he says. She yells at me all the time and says, where did I go? And how how's she going to pay the bills? And he says there's things that need fixed around the house. And she complains about that too. And he says, I'm still there, but she's used to me being her strength and her anchor, even though she's the strong one. He says, and you're worried about choices that you're going to make. He says, stop worrying about that because God will give you strength. And I'm just going to tell you this about romantic love. I do see romantic love for you, but I see it a ways off. I feel it's going to be about almost 3 years. You're not ready. The person that you would bring in is not in your area. They're not. They're about 3 hours away from you is what I'm being shown. And I do feel like this person is going to be a very spiritual person. I keep getting church around them, and that's my symbol for spiritualism. Not necessarily church setting, but in a church is how I feel like that kind of energy around this person. And it's going to be all of a sudden, and you're not going to be able to fight it because it's going to be such a comfort to your spirit. Now, here's what I'm going to say. The reason you're not ready for love is because right now you're still in a grieving state, even though you've healed quite a lot, and I'm happy and proud for you on a psychic level. You would compare every person to your husband, and people would just get on your nerves. The person would just get on your nerves. Not that men don't get on our nerves as women, but it would be to the point where you were edgy, and it would just make you not want to even try.
Bella says, I just want to skip this part.
Yeah.
She says, I hate it.
Well, you know what? Grief is never easy. Grief is not. And when we lose someone that we love that deeply, it's like something's been ripped away from us, right? Because we don't have control. We don't have any control. And so, all this being on earth is hard because we want to be with our loved ones sometimes. And we have to know that we will see them again. It's hard when we miss their presence on a daily basis in the physical. But this is the thing. Whether you talk to Nikki or to me or to Journey or to another reader, you can talk to them. You can talk to them just like we're talking to you. They don't answer the way we're answering necessarily, but they'll show you signs and they'll come to you in dreams. And I've even had spirits persuade someone to give me something, like, something that was symbolic, and I knew it was really from them. They led the person's energy to buy me something. So they do things. You just have to watch.
Okay, so Bella says, yeah, but I don't have a reply. All right. Gotcha. It sounds like we're going to, we are going to go on break, but Bella, I think it sounds like you got a wealth of information and you've got some stuff to definitely work with, honey. And you've just got just wonderful support team here for you. It seems like Faith's been working with you for a while, so know that you're not alone. But we are going to go on break, and when we come back, it's going to be Blanca. So Blanca, get your question ready. And then actually after Blanca, just so you guys are prepared, we're going to do Blanca, and then we're going to do Ariane Bean after that. Okay, so we'll see you guys after break. Hey guys, welcome back. So we have Blanca next. So Blanca, hopefully you have your question ready. I'm excited to read for you. And then after Blanca, don't forget that we have REN, and I think the last name on that was Snow, if I'm correct. I got a memory like Dory the fish. So, and then guys, remember that when you guys jump tonight, $1 of all of those jump donations are going to go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So it's for a really good cause. Adds an extra element. It's Bean, REN Bean, which is nothing like snow. Okay, so Blanca's here, Blanca Nestor. She says, can I get a love reading? Any males coming my way, maybe just a friendship before the real one comes along, if there is one. Okay, so let's shuffle up and pull for Blanca. Okay, so Blanca, let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Blanca, you know, I have to be honest, I don't see a lot of information about love for you, but that's okay. It's all valuable and purposeful, so I'll share with you what I do have. And so here, your spirit angel guides, celestial team want to talk about your finances. You historically were in a position, so you were in a position, I think, were you married before? So there's an ex-husband or an ex-significant other where you were building like a foundation with financially, providing like a nest for other family members. So I'm assuming then that you have children, because it's like you were working in the material world with home, family, finances, in order to cultivate security for your loved ones. You did this specifically with your partner. This is something that you couldn't have done yourself. That was taken from you somehow. So there was a feeling of betrayal. Oh, Blanca Nestor says, my husband passed away. Okay. And you have 4 kids. Gotcha. I'm so sorry for your loss, sweetheart. Yeah. Okay. So that explains why it was taken from you. And there's this aspect or feeling of betrayal surrounding it. It's like you guys were building something, doing something together in this team effort. And then all of a sudden, that experience is just taken from you. All of a sudden, now that's just no longer part of your goal, right? You can't even think about, building security for loved ones. Now it's like you're grieving, and it's all your joint and collaborative plans are just gone. I do have to say, though, that this opened this experience of your husband passing and the grief that you've had to face because of that has really opened doors emotionally for you, many, many doors. So it's not just the grief around his passing. His passing and the grief you feel around that has been a catalyst for you to explore where else in your life you feel grief, where else you feel betrayed, loss, where else in your life you feel that you had made an agreement, right? Because marriage is a contract. You signed a contract, and then he left that contract. Now, of course, he didn't do that on purpose, but it still feels like a betrayal. It's like, hey, this is not what I signed up for. Where's my end of the bargain? You have had to then explore other areas and time frames in your life where you felt that same feeling and had that same experience. So it's like the blessing in the darkness is this big bang happened with your husband passing, but it opened doors for you to explore where else you felt that, so you can heal that, because that's like a ancestral trauma that you've been carrying just generation. Blanca Nestor says, I understand he's gone. I'm making my peace with it, but I know I'm still building my future. Yeah, lovely. You are still building your future. In your present now, you've got new beginnings, and you've got new beginnings based on you really connecting back to your inner child energy. So who was like Blanca when she was a little girl? What did she like to do? What were your interests? What were your hobbies? What were the things that lit you up? And when did you lose those, or did you lose any of those? You may not have lost many of them. Your new beginnings are really going to flourish and be born out of you reconnecting to those things. So it's time to, like, when something makes you feel giddy or lit up like a little kid, it's time to go with it and honor that. Know that that's not silly. That's a part of your healing. As you move into the near future, I do see that you've got the Page of Swords here, which is really about you being vigilant in your growth. Blanca Nestor says, yes, inner child, and I'm assuming I have, meaning you have lost some of those things, and that's not entirely uncommon. And yet you're at this really beautiful time in your life where you get to purposefully and deliberately reconnect to those things. Know that you're coming into a space where it's important for you to vigilantly guard your energy, whether this is romantic, friendships, jobs. Be mindful of where you're expending your energy and who you're giving your precious, precious time to. I think you have a really nurturing spirit. You definitely have Cancer in your chart, and people are drawn to you for a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on. So you want to be mindful about that. I also see that there's a little bit of drama in the family dynamic. Blanca Nestor says, back when I had ideas. Oh, that's a bell. So Blanca Nestor says, back when I had ideas and peace with life. Gotcha. So that's really how you connect with your inner child, is having lots of sparks of inspiration and being at peace. And that's really beautiful. So as you get ideas and inspiration now, you're going to want to honor those ideas and really initiate them and share them with people. Again, be mindful of who you're sharing your energy with. So let's pass it over to Faith and see what she has to say.
Hey, Blanca. Well, you know your husband's always around you because he's a nut. And he's saying, be mindful of the little one hurting himself in the next couple of days with a toy. So be careful of that. And something is going on with your steering in your car. The other thing I'm getting as far as your love life, I do see someone coming for you that you are going to communicate with. This is primarily online.
Blanca says, you look beautiful, Faith.
Oh,
she likes that backstage red lipstick.
Thank you, Blanca. So I feel like you are going to talk to someone, it feels like online, and I think his name is either Joe or Jose. I'm getting both. So, you know, one's the Hispanic version, but I'm being shown both. I don't feel it's right now. This feels more.
Blanca Nestor says yes.
Okay, so this feels more toward the end of August, early September. October is going to be really significant for you with love. Okay, but I'm also being told by your husband, and you know how blunt he is, Blanca, that you need to tell people to shove it. And I'm putting it nice. So, because he says, he keeps putting his hands over his ears, and he says he doesn't want to hear you getting mad about his family anymore because you're the one choosing to deal with them. He doesn't expect for you to. He knows that you want the children around them, because they're an extension of him, but he also doesn't want you to be taken advantage of. That's what he's telling me. And you're allowing them to take advantage.
Blanca says, I do have family problems, but don't care about them anymore.
Well, I hope that stays that way, Blanca. That's all I'm going to say as a reader. I hope it stays that way for right now. I really do. Because you have a lot of other things coming for you. So just be aware of that. I also keep seeing, I think you're going to change your self-image a little bit. And I know this is a little bit off topic, but I see you working out and trying to eat better and things like that. And I do see you being successful with that. I also want to tell you to do some walking because I keep seeing that would help you.
That's good advice. Blanca says, his family, my family. I'm not anymore. I am done.
Well, good. Good, because he's reiterating that. So just stick to that as best you can. He is going to come through to you in some dreams. I think, I don't know if it's 3 nights in a row or in 3 days because of how he's showing me this. So just be aware.
Blanca says, yes, I am. You're right. Trying to look good for the next one.
Well, that's important. That's important.
Okay. Awesome.
That helps you, Blanca. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Good advice, Faith. I love that that exercise and that self-development and self-care came up for her and that you were able to give that to her. Okay, so he says we are up to $10 for the week so far for St. Jude's Hospital. You guys are amazing. That's so awesome, you guys.
Yay!
Okay, so let's keep this train rolling because we're shrinking down on time. So Blanca says, thank you, girls. You're so welcome, sweetheart. Okay, so we want to get here to Ariane. I can't remember. There's only one Ariane.
Ariane Bean.
Ariane Bean. Bean, come on, get your question up. Next to Sierra L. Get your question ready, my love. We're rolling through quickly but surely. Blanca says, love you guys. Journey, feel better.
Love you too, Blanca. And I'll be on tomorrow if you want to call me. I know you've been trying to get me.
Okay, here's Ariane Bean. Okay, haha, hey guys. Just wanted to add a pronunciation. Oh, yes, thank you. So you guys pick me up a little better. It's Arian. LOL.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, thank you for clarifying, my love. Thank you guys for the reading. You're all amazing. I was wondering what I'm supposed to be doing in life at the moment. I have the opportunity to move to California from Montana, and I'm torn in between the two. What do you guys pick up on? Okay, so Arian, let me shuffle up and see, sweetheart. Cards are like butter.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It means the
Make
energy's
shuffle easy.
Yeah, the energy's moving real swiftly. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, so Arian, I'm going to shuffle up an oracle card as well, just to kind of ground this information. Interesting. So Arian, I don't see anything specifically on the move per se, but it's not just about the move itself. There's a lot of energy around that, right? And what that move means to you and where you're at this time in life, and then where you're going, right? And how that move is a part of that. So I think this information is going to be helpful either way. So I've got sobriety coming up multiple times. So I feel like there's definitely somebody close to you who has struggled with addiction. And I think that you may have tendencies towards over or under consumption of things. I'm just going to say things, right? Because I'm not saying that you are a drug addict or that you're an alcoholic or anything like that, because addiction is a behavior. It's not necessarily dependent on what substance it is. It can be food, it can be screen time, it can be a behavior, and it can be health, it can be exercise, right? We get addicted to all kinds of things, even things that seemingly are good for us. So I'm not labeling you as such for sure, but I am saying that it's important for you to be mindful of your consumption, of what you take in and also what you put out. And it needs to feel good and healthy and like a healthy cycle, not like you're overexerting yourself or you're taking in too much. Again, whether it's a substance or whether it's like a behavior that you're participating in. This definitely runs in your ancestral line, and you have one particular person who's close to you has dealt with this. There's something connected to your mother that has to do with possibly, it's interesting because it's almost like a hoarding of material things. So I'm not sure if mom has a tendency to maybe overspend a little bit or really hold on to things too much, be like, oh no, you can't get rid of that knickknack. I got it in 1982 and it means everything to me. And it's like, okay, mom, like let's get rid of it. So there's like this tendency to really hold on to things in your family line. Your mom in particular has been susceptible to that. That's definitely been passed on to you just a little bit. So you want to be mindful. So when you do get caught in kind of a spiral of, again, addictive behaviors in any way, it's important for you to acknowledge it's because you're holding on to something and you're trying to soothe yourself. So what needs to be let go? Is it a part of yourself? Is it a behavior? Is it a person in your life that needs to be let go of? That being said, I would think that a move would be really good for you because you are letting go of a whole life. When we move, so much in our life changes, so many doors open up. Okay, so you've got grief work coming up as well. So there's definitely like a loved one who's passed, and there's a loved one who was involved in some kind of, it's like more fundamental type spirituality. So something like mainstream. I'm not sure if this is like almost like Baptist, something similar to that. And so there's a loved one who's passed that's close to that. So I'm not sure where that religion falls in line with your family dynamic. Know that they're close. And then know that it's really important for you to set boundaries at this time in your life. So if you choose to do this move, it's going to be really important for you to go into it knowing exactly who you are and exactly what you want. And remember that all the new people that you're going to meet, every person you meet, you get to teach them right away how you want to be treated. Every interaction with them, you get to teach them what kind of treatment you expect. And people are going to fall in line with that really quickly as long as you're very certain on who you are and what kind of treatment you expect. So this is definitely a new page for you when it comes to how you receive love from people and how you're treated by people. So know that that is one of the big opportunities that's going to be encompassed in this move. Let's pass it over to Faith and see what she's picking up on this.
Hey, so this is what I'm getting for you. I do see you moving. I know there's some hesitation because it's such a big move, and I don't think that this is something along the lines of what you've done previously in your life, and this is a whole different game for you. And that's why you're uneasy and you're unsure what you're going to do. Now, professionally,
she says, Ariane. She says, so spot on. Thank you, love. You're welcome.
Professionally, I keep seeing, I don't know if this is professionally or not, but I keep seeing two different things around you. Okay. I'm seeing photography or a camera, and that could just be symbolic of you carrying the memories of Montana with you. Okay. Or it could be something you're going to do because I keep seeing the camera flashing, and it's just making me feel like it could even be a hobby. I'm not sure, but I also feel you're going to be doing something in, I want to say nursing. That's what I want to say, or something, some type of social work from what I'm seeing. Now, let me just say with this move, I totally agree with Nikki. You have to start off really like having a firm hand on how you allow people to treat you. No matter in what setting it is, that's going to be very important for you. in particular. That's important for us all. But I think as soon as you get to California, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done this, because it's going to be so new and not everything's going to go smoothly right away. I feel like there's going to be some loose ends with your housing in the very beginning, but don't get panicked about that, because I feel like within 2 weeks, you'll be more stable and it will be a better situation for you. I'm really glad actually that you're going to do this move, because even though there's some real big hesitation there and you're scared, it's going to be like shedding away your skin and becoming who you want to be and not who you have been, because I feel like where you live or have lived has kind of held you back of who you really are. Like there was some restraints there, caused from other people or who other people thought you were or how they treated you. So you kind of fell into that role, but you're not going to have that when you go. And it's going to be very good. You're going to come more into your own. I also see meeting someone that's really going to lift you up and help you find your inner voice and spiritual independence. I also see that person, that family member that Nikki was talking about. I do feel somehow they were in the ministry or in the church, because I do see it. I just like Nikki, I don't know if it was Baptist or it could have even been non-denominational, but that person is around you. I feel they may have passed from chest issues. This feels like it's a male with a little bit of balding up top. I hope some of that makes sense to you and helps you, but that's what I'm getting for you. And I love your name, but I really love unusual names. So, but I hope that helps you.
Lovely. Thank you, Faith, for giving her all that depth of information. Okay, so a message from Journey, or the site, My Psychic Connection, says, thank you to Sierra L. We are now up to $25 for St. Jude Hospital this week. So thank you so much for your donations. She gave her jump to St. Jude. Isn't that beautiful? So Sierra L gave her entire jump fee to St. Jude to the donation. So thank you, sweetheart. Arian Bean says, thank you, ladies, so much. You're amazing.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
We appreciate that. That's valuable currency, that feedback, honey. I'm glad you came and got what you needed. Okay, so Sierra was going to be next, but she was so lovely to donate. So we're going to move back to Bella. Bella jumped again. So she's going to be our last read of the night. And so Bella, post your question, honey, and let us get you some more clarity. Bella, Bella, Bella. I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling for Bella. Okay, here she is under the screen name Paj Chia. She says, I have a question about my dream where I was in my car drowning. What does this interpret? And more words from him, please. Okay, so she's wanting more information from her husband who's passed, if it's available, and then interpretation on her dream. Okay, so let me shuffle up and see. That's pretty specific. I don't know. I can already tell you that I'm not going to get any of that information. Sorry. The husband I've already touched on, I think, and Faith already touched on it, and so it's just not there right now. I'll see if I get any information on the dream. But either way, you know, what comes through is always of high value, right? Whenever your celestial team or the universe or spirit angel guides, whatever information they want to bring through, whether it's based on your question or not, it's valuable and it's in your best interest. So Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So I did get some information on your dream. I didn't think I was going to. Okay. So for the dream, being in the car drowning, first of all, like, what a scary dream to have. I'm so sorry that you had to experience that. Those kind of dreams can feel really like palpable and real. I do think that it's you feeling like you're in limbo, like you're being forcefully put into a position, like your life is on pause and there's nothing you can do about it, right? It's a feeling of, right? Drowning is something really happening against your will, right? There's nothing you can do about it, and you're forced to sit and experience it. And it's terrifying. And so that's what that's representing. She says, I don't know the dream. I don't know the dream connect to my spiritual. Oh, I don't know if the dream connects to my spiritual. Yeah, I think I woke up scared. Yeah, I bet you did, sweetheart. I think our dreams always connect to our spiritual. I think our dreams are a spiritual experience, even the mundane ones, right? They're a very valuable part of our spiritual growth and evolution. But I think that this for you is representing a suppressed feeling. And I don't think it's even that suppressed, because I think that you're aware of this, but you're stuffing it down, which is that you feel like you're being forced to experience your life right now, right? Your life is like being drowned. It's just happening to you and there's nothing you can do. You just have to sit there and drown and experience it. You're not understanding and tuning into the fact that you are a co-collaborator with your life experience. You have a magic wand, and it's called your thoughts, the emotions that you choose to give power to, and your actions, right? All those come together, and that's your magic wand, and you are co-creating your entire life experience. And so there's some responsibility in that. A lot of people detour from that because they don't want to take responsibility for a lot of the things that they've created, and I can understand that. But it also prevents you from really feeling how powerful you are, how beautiful life can be, how beautiful your life already is. So don't let that fear or that, disinterest in taking responsibility for what you may have created that you don't like prevent you from really tapping into the joy that you do have now and the joy that you can create, because you are very, very powerful. I think that you're in a place where hope is just right above the surface, love, right? Pun intended. We're talking about the drowning dream, so we'll say right above the surface. But I think hope is just right above the surface for you, and you're just skimming it. Let's see. Bella says, when Faith said party, my brain went to he is still alive. That's the celebration. Interesting. I'm not. Yeah, so you're getting right to the surface where you're going to be able to really integrate and what's the word where you can get up and reach something? You're getting to a place where you're going to be able to really access your hope. That's what it is, right? You haven't been able to access your hope like with ease in the past, right? You're going to be able to really get up there and go, oh my gosh, I get it. Like, life can be magical. I have a lot of power. I can change my life. I can move. I can do all these different things. And you're going to be able to have hope. Hope is a powerful tool, because when we don't have hope, boy, like, we make poor decisions. We don't grow because we don't believe that we have any options. So you're getting to a place where you're going to start realizing that you have many, many options and that you are in charge. She says, yes, accurate, suppressing everything. Gotcha. Well, not for long. That's okay. It's just an observation. It's not a permanent way of being. So you're working towards the surface, my love. Let's pass it over to Faith, though, and see what she has.
Hi, Bella. So I want to touch on a few things. With the dream, what I felt was the car was stuck in the mud in the water, and the water was rising up, and you felt like you were drowning or you had no control of it, and I don't feel like you felt you could get out of the car. Well, that's because, just like Nikki said, you are stationary. We use cars to move, and the water was limiting your movement. The water kind of represents your emotions, and that, you're not going anywhere because you're hurting so much. Okay. So
She says, oh my God, yes. Wow.
so the water is representing your emotions because you can't, that's what you're concentrating on. And the car is stationary and in your emotions because you're having no movement. You're not even really fully expressing how you feel or feeling like you can. And that's okay, Bella, because that's part of grief. But just like Nikki said, you have to rise up out of it and slowly allow yourself to feel it, to express it, so that you can heal and so that you can move on. But that's why, because the car represented movement and it was stuck and it's watery and was rusted and you were scared and it felt real and you didn't know what to do with that. That's your spirit telling you you're in your emotions and you're stuck there because you have to release them. You're letting your emotions and your grief overtake everything else. And that's what we do when we're mourning someone and we're processing. There's nothing wrong with that. We have stages of grief and it takes time as long as you're moving, like what Nikki said. So you just have to be mindful of that. As far as messages from your husband, the party that I saw was a celebration. It's like an anniversary or a birthday or something of that nature coming. That's what he was acknowledging. I keep seeing pancakes. I don't know if this means you're supposed to make the kids pancakes, but he showed me that earlier. He's also showing me a hammer. He's holding a hammer like this, like say that this is the hand holding the hammer. And he's saying, get to fixing stuff. There's some things in the house that need fixed and repaired. And he says, you hear him all the time. Don't say that you don't get signs because you do. Your sadness is kind of blinding you to them and not allowing them through because he sends you numbers. I'm seeing numbers like on the microwave or the clock. And he says, what is she talking about? She hears me walking. He says, when you're laying down, you hear noises. That's him walking. And he's also telling you he's got the pets. I see a dog and 2 cats, I think. And he just wants you to know that he loves you very much. He's saying, ooh, okay. So he's saying one of the kids took the other one's, somebody else's belonging, somebody else's toy or something. You need to fix that. When one is missing something, it'll be in the other one's stuff. So just know that. It's in the corner of a room and somebody else's stuff. See, he's even trying to discipline them. That's cute. And he's just sending you lots of love. And he's showing me that you're going to make some dish that he liked a lot when he was alive. This is some type of stew or soup or something because he's showing me a really big pot and it smells really good. I don't know what this is. I don't think I've ever eaten it. But for some reason, one of my things that spirits always show me the food they miss when they pass. So he's showing me the soup or the stew with some type of bread. Oh, okay, it's curry. Okay.
Bella says curry.
Yeah, and it smells really good because I can smell it bacon. So, but I hope that helps you, Bella, and gives you some comfort.
She says, I made it today.
Oh,
she made curry today.
He's acknowledging that he was there.
Perfect.
And you made it. And he said, and she has some in the fridge too. He says, so the next time you eat some, just know that he'll be there with you. And, you know, if you want to talk further about this, you can always call on the site or you can get me or one of the other readers on here too. But just know that he's still around you. They're all still around us.
Isn't that the most simple and most beautiful confirmation you can give someone is that they're still with you? That's so lovely.
His energy is really strong.
Yeah, you guys, I want to say thank you so much for everyone who came on and jumped the list and offered that donation. So
Yes.
those donations, not, the dollar that went to St. Jude's Children's Hospital is really powerful to help support those families. I also want to say, though, that the donations that you guys give in order to jump, it helps support us so that we can be here doing this for you, so that we can be here at this time and be able to be present, to read for you and to support you and to do this full time and to extend ourselves on the website and stuff. So we really appreciate that. And it lets us know that you want us to be here. You want us to be available to read. And so we're just really grateful for that. And for everyone else too, even if you didn't donate, we appreciate you guys coming on and taking the time to come get what you need and allow us to share our gifts with you. And Faith, it was lovely working with you again tonight.
It's
I love your
always
energy.
fun, Nikki.
I love your red lipstick.
Thank you so much.
You're
Maybe I'll send you
welcome.
some.
Yeah, and then
Thank you
guys,
so much.
we could be twins one night. You guys, I want to let you know too that after the show tonight, 8:30, I'm going to be on for Divine Time with Nikki Taylor. So I want you guys to go get yourself a drink. It can be cold water or whatever. It could be a glass of wine. I want you guys to get your jammies on, and then I want you to come on Divine Time with Nikki Taylor. So Pacific time, that's going to be 8:30 p.m. It's in 30 minutes. So wherever your time zone is, if you're Eastern time, I think
30 minutes from now.
11:30. Yeah. Either way, it's 30 minutes from now, guys. So set a timer on your phone, get cozy, and come see me, and you're going to get some one-on-one readings. So, but thank you guys for coming, and have a really good night.
Bye, everybody. I see Journey too in the background. And
Journey's in the background. Send Journey some healing energy too.
I'm here, guys. I'm just trying to recover.